Annapolis police are responding to reports of threats made to the Naval Academy. This is a shot here from Sky Team 11. As a result, the base is on lockdown out of an abundance of caution. You see, obviously, some students walk into a building.
Due to an active threat on board the installation, all personnel are directed to lock down.
Yeah, the craziness of the military academy over in Annapolis, Maryland, specifically the Naval Academy, has been crazy in the past 24 hours. I feel like there's just too much in the world going on right now. Now, that is because they went on a full lockdown on the campus. There were alarms blaring. There were kids running around. Bases on lockdown. They were clearing rooms. There were rumors going around. It just kind of went off the rails and showed that even with the best intentions, some bad outcomes can still come from that. However, let's break down security concerns, kind of what we saw, how this played out, and kind of the aftermath, maybe the sociological or societal concerns that come from this. If you think about it, the U.S. Naval Academy houses around 4,000 Naval Academy midshipmen every year that are going to enter the service once they complete their training and education over there. And the craziness is that this is what a lot of people would say as a very secure facility. Now, it is not secure from drama and people spreading rumors or whatever else, but we'll get into that. ABC reported a midshipman was shot Thursday at the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland, as security officials responding to the reports of suspicious activity were clearing a building while the campus was on lockdown, according to a U.S. official. According to a Navy official, Navy security officers and local law enforcement responded to the campus shortly after 5 p.m. The midshipman was medevac'd to the hospital by Maryland State Police and was in stable condition. So you're like, why were they on lockdown? Well, that is because there were rumors going around that there was somebody, which I've seen a photo floating around. We haven't seen anything from the investigation. I'm not going to float their photo here in case there was any legitimacy to that, if that was the real case. And I don't want to put a target on their back if it wasn't. But essentially they were saying that somebody was kicked out of the Naval Academy, and because of that, they were coming back to inflict harm on fellow students or staff or whatever else, and that is what kicked this entire thing off.
I've just heard from two separate parents who say the midshipmen were given a security update stating that the rumors had circulated here at the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis about an active shooter dressed as police or security, and the Academy officials are making it clear to those midshipmen that those rumors are not true, and that the midshipmen are also being told to treat all police officers as legitimate law enforcement here on campus, and that officials do not believe there is an actual threat, but that the tensions remain high. Now, a final security sweep of Bancroft Hall is underway before the lockdown can be lifted. That is what the parents are telling me, and we're still waiting for the official word from the Academy.
Now, as a response to that, there were clearings of all the rooms they were going through and essentially trying to make sure the campus was safe in order for students to go about their day. However, it looks like maybe one of them took astray, as essentially they were flown out.
A false report, according to a source, was circulating among the midshipmen that there was an active shooter dressed as a police officer and that that person was going through Bancroft Hall, which is a dormitory. Local and naval police went door to door as they converged on the campus just to check out this false report. That's when one of the midshipmen, acting on that information, the circulating report of someone going on campus door to door dressed as a police officer, that midshipman attacked an officer who was checking on him. The officer in this attack shot the midshipman in the shoulder.
Now, obviously, we have to wrap a bow on it. We need to find out more from this investigation. They are not doing much besides keeping tight lips on this because it seems like this was not a good look. But local Maryland Rep. Sarah Alfred said in a statement, "Thankfully, the midshipman who was injured during the clearing of a building is in stable condition." And she said, "I want to thank our first responders and the doctors and nurses at the University of Maryland Shock Trauma Center who put themselves in harm's way to respond to and heal those who have been impacted by these events that have become all too common." And now, to give you context, again, there were reports, not official things. And so I don't know if this was in regards to security forces, we call them in the Navy Master at Arms, that would have been on site. I've seen video of them there along with local law enforcement. So I'm like, We don't know who is clearing what buildings. I am not part of that command to even know any of that stuff or have awareness. I've never done security stuff, but there are specific lanes of jurisdiction of who covers what during specific instances, and I'm not sure if that was local during this or if that was the military equivalent, the Master of Arms. Now, I will tell you that Master of Arms are trained and have to qualify on their rifles and pistols once a year, so there is that. They do have some training. I don't know how often they shoot beyond that, but that's just what I know about it. Now, what's scary about this is that all of this took place over at Bancroft Hall, which is the main barracks, or looks like where the midshipmen do reside at. And it looks like there's about 1,600 different dorm rooms that are there. So imagine you're having this threat, people coming in during that. They took this very seriously, where even local people that were living around the campus of the Naval Academy were essentially notified of the lockdown over loudspeakers. I'll play this clip right here for you.
Attention. Lockdown. Lockdown. Due to an active threat on board the installation, all personnel are directed to lockdown. Seek cover and concealment immediately. Be cautious and call security or base police to report suspicious activity. Stand by for further information. Attention. Attention. Lockdown. Lockdown. Due to an active threat on board the installation, all personnel are directed to lockdown. Seek cover and concealment immediately. Be cautious and call security or base police to report suspicious activity. Stand by for further information.
So we have to have a real discussion, and that is, you know, we've dealt with campus security. We look at the Charlie Kirk situation, but I mean, the military specifically within that realm of security has been very, very difficult, because I look at how many instances and vulnerabilities for service members that are out there, whether that be the Fort Stewart, where you have somebody that is actually part of the military going in, or the Fort Hood situation as well, where they go in and they do their biddings, right? And that's dangerous because you're supposed to trust the person right next to you. This was like a vengeance thing of concern. But I mean, even we've had instances where, you know, back in the late 2010s, there were recruiters that were attacked, and there was shootings and things like that going on there. So, and now those were from local citizens, like not even actual people that you would think that would have that. And so like now everything is having to have even more security. So I don't know what that means for the security of the Naval Academy. While yes, this is good that people were willing to report this and obviously be on guard, that's awesome. But, you know, just like if you've ever heard about swatting, where people have a SWAT team come to people's houses while they're live streaming and could put the SWAT team or the person in the house at danger, this is what we see. And, you know, I was going to make a joke about it, but I'm just going to say it. He's going to get disability. He's going to get it, probably to some degree. And that's another thing with this too. It's like, if this kid is not able to serve because of this wound and he is now disqualified from service, who does he hold accountable depending on who was in charge, who fired it off? Like, there's a lot of questions. They said he's stable, so I'll keep it at that. That's good. But that still does not negate the fact that people could be disqualified from service while they had their whole life ahead of them. But let me know what you guys think about the situation down in the comments below.